potentially, and news coming out of LA is that Sean McVay was shocked that Matt Stafford returned to the organization. Little bit of a head scratcher. If I'm the head coach and I know what's going on, I have to believe that in order to succeed in 2025, without a legitimate backup, Jimmy Garoppolo, Stetson Bennett, that I needed Matt Stafford on my team. The fact that Sean McVay was shocked that Stafford came back to the LA Rams really tells you that something might have been going on behind the scenes. Matt Stafford, we talk about it since he's won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. The team has won 5 games and then back-to-back 10-game winning seasons. They won the West last year. On paper, I think they're a little bit more complete right now, based off of last year, than the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers have the players. However, what's the continuity? What's the concerns about Christian McCaffrey and all of the playmakers that are potentially coming back, like Brandon Ayuk? The fact that Sean McVay did not want or potentially know that Stafford wanted to come back, I don't know where this team is headed in 2025. We'll see you tomorrow on Football Full Circle. For Danny Ohlers, Ben Stevens, I'm Lisi. See you tomorrow.
Is SportsGrid, doing our part to spread the winning edge in every corner of the country. Terrestrial, satellite, TV, and don't forget our amazing mobile app. Wherever you are, you can get sports gaming strategies and information. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. Men's College Hoops Conference Tournament action on Tuesday in the first round of the Patriot League Championship. Loyola, Maryland beat Lehigh 77-73. Lafayette over Holy Cross 69-68. And the Horizon, Oakland beat Green Bay 96-72. Northern Kentucky over Detroit Mercy 99-75. Wright State over IU Indianapolis 98-85. And the Sun Belt Southern Miss beat Coastal Carolina 66-63. In overtime, Louisiana beat Louisiana Monroe 73-69. Men's top 25 last night. Big upset as number 22 Texas A&M beat Auburn 83-72. The number 1 Tigers dropped to 15-2 in the SEC. In overtime, Texas beat number 25 Mississippi State 87-82. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback, I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male.
It's this simple. You want to win? Then listen to us. Seriously. We bring you sports gaming strategies and information 7 days a week. Keep it right here. What else you got going on? Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to a Wednesday Live right here on the early line on SportsGrid and all across the SportsGrid network. That includes sportsgrid.com/watch, where you can find your favorite destination and consume everything all across the grid. He is Donnie Rightside. I am Ben Stevens. We are here together for the next 3 hours up until 11 a.m. Eastern Time. A Wednesday to look back on a huge Tuesday night in the world of basketball. 9-game slate around the association. History made in Los Angeles for the man known as the 40-year-old King. And some winning streaks continuing around the NBA as well. A monumental Tuesday night in college hoops at the high major level, final week of the regular season. A ton of top 25 teams in action last night, and the number one team in the nation does go down in College Station. And many games that impacted the NCAA tournament bubble and conference tournaments beginning even in more spots around mid-major leagues. What a time in college hoops. Big NFL news. It was tag deadline day around the National Football League. Deals were done. So much to get to here, DRS, over these next 3 hours.
And probably only the Philadelphia Eagles could make a running back in Saquon Barkley the highest paid running back in the sport, and probably lowered his cap hit here nonetheless. Make it make sense. It doesn't, because a lot of people are going to make a lot of money in the free agent process this year in the NFL. So watch that play out. But Ben is right. College basketball really ramping up. Conference tournaments here underway, as we've already said. Another 3 more set to start today, which we're going to give you a preview for, having fun with those. And also a couple team totals yesterday. Went to bed. Iowa State not going to get that 79.5. Woke up 2 OTs. That is always your best friend with totals.
Yes, it certainly is. After 2 points in only the opening 6 minutes between the Cyclones and the Cougars, we needed that extra session and then another extra session to push us to an over last night in Ames. Your college basketball recap coming in just a moment. But some history last night for the streaking Lakers in LA. 21-point win over the New Orleans Pelicans, 136-115. The Pels playing better, but the Lakers have now won 7 straight games. The Lakers cover as a 9-point home favorite last night. The history came very early on. With his first point in the game, LeBron James reaches the 50,000-point mark in regular season and playoff games combined, becoming the first and only NBA player to ever get to that threshold. He finishes with 34. Luka Doncic pours in 30 as well, and the Lakers have won 7 straight.
It's pretty impressive because this team is gelling quickly here, and we didn't even get the best of Luka Doncic right after the trade, but now we're starting to settle in. 9 of 19 from the floor, 6 of 13 from three-point range, 30 total points. And how about a team best? Plus 37 on the court for Luka. And LeBron James in his last game wasn't all that efficient, was very much efficient in this past game. 10 of 18 from the floor, included 5 of 10 from three-point range, and 9 of 9 from the free throw line. An easy blowout victory for the Los Angeles Lakers by 20-plus points at home as they continue to roll.
We'll talk about the Lakers' outlook. Are they a true contender out west? That will be the debate. A plus-minus of a plus 37 for Luka Doncic, maybe adding some insult to injury on a very difficult day in Dallas for the Mavs. You see Luka Doncic starting to look like Luka Doncic, but now in the purple and gold. A season-saving win? Perhaps for the Phoenix Suns last night at home in the Valley, down by as many as 23 points late in the third quarter. Phoenix rallies in the fourth to pull off a huge home upset of the LA Clippers, 119-117. The Suns win outright as that 3-point home dog.
Yeah, Clips are in a bad way right now. That's an easy victory against a dead basketball team that you let them come back in the fourth quarter and beat you by 2 points at the buzzer. That can't absolutely happen to the Clippers. I still think the Clippers make the playoffs, but interesting enough for the Phoenix Suns, they rally last night for that victory and then see Kyrie Irving go down, which we'll get to it, and also talking about Anthony Davis maybe sitting out the rest of the season. The biggest benefactor from that injury might be the Phoenix Suns and their pathway to getting to the play-in round and a 500-1 price to win the NBA championship.
Still 4 games under 500 for Phoenix, but only 3 games now back of that 10th and final postseason spot, the 4th and final play-in tourney position in the Western Conference. 34 points for Kevin Durant and Colin Gillespie. Yeah, the guy from Villanova providing a huge spark in that fourth quarter as a part of the comeback. Down goes number 1 last night in College Station. The number 1 team in the country, the Auburn Tigers, who have been atop the AP Top 25 for 7 straight weeks, has a 6-game win streak snapped by an A&M team now ranked 22nd in the poll, who had lost 4 straight games. The chaos in the month of March. A&M wins 83-72 outright as a 4.5-point home dog in College Station.
Yeah, well, by the way, on paper, Texas A&M had a pretty good look in that one, just not playing great basketball down the stretch. Big-time victory for them. Did you know their team total, Ben, was 72.5 yesterday? Easily eclipsed that, scoring 83 points against the best team in the country, in the best conference in the country. Nice win for A&M.
Worked its way up, DRS, 74.5. I know because I used a 30% profit boost token on our lovely FanDuel Sportsbook, thinking if A&M was going to win this game or keep it within that margin, as we saw, just a 4.5-point number they would need to score. Auburn over in 9 of its last 11. A&M over in 4 consecutive games, snapping a 4-game losing skid. Chaos inside Hilton Coliseum, where Iowa State entered last night with only 1 home defeat in the last 2 seasons. Now make it 2. BYU, a couple of huge road wins as of late in double OT, 88-85 in Ames, knocking off the Cyclones. BYU, DRS, has won 7 consecutive games, covering in all 7, 3 of them outright as a road underdog. In Morgantown against the Mountaineers, in Tucson, in a controversial close against Arizona, last night in Ames against Iowa State.
You know what doesn't make sense in this game? I don't know if I ever saw this before. A quality opponent like BYU going on the road against Iowa State. They turned the basketball over. Talking about BYU, 29 times in that game to 11 for Iowa State, and still beat them. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then you look at the rebounding disparity. 52 boards for BYU, 24 boards for Iowa State. In a crazy box score, big-time win for BYU. And yes, over 79.5, still cashes the same, no matter if it's in regulation, 1 overtime or 2 overtimes. You needed it all, and they got there. So that was the big part I took away from last night from Iowa State.
And in fairness, DRS, we only needed the opening extra session to go over that game total of 149.5. Yesterday was tag deadline day around the National Football League. 4 p.m. Eastern time to place the franchise tag on a player on your roster. Of course, the Eagles did not need to do that with Saquon Barkley, but just 1 year into his Philly tenure, a contract extension, a 2-year deal worth more than $41 million, making Saquon Barkley the highest paid running back ever in NFL history. The only guy to get more than $20 million per year. And after the record-setting season last year, leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl, really, who could fault the Birds?
Taking care of one of their best players is what the Philadelphia Eagles do. You can't sign anybody. High-paid quarterback, highest-paid running back, 2 high-paying wide receivers, high-paid offensive line. That's how you get it done here. As long as your owner wants to win, people, he can spend whatever money he wants in the NFL, and the Eagles do it right.
And we'll talk about the financial forward nature of what Philadelphia excels in doing in our next segment. The New York Jets have officially released Davante Adams. His 11-game stint in green comes to a close.
Fantastic news for the Jets. They are cleaning house right now. Watch out for this. Man, when's the last time we said that? Watch out for the Jets in a couple years? Yeah, how about it?
I want to talk about Davante Adams, though. We'll do that up next. And no need for the franchise tag for Osa Odighizuwa in Dallas. 4-year, $80 million extension agreed to yesterday.
Yeah, everybody just pulling the ski mask down on Jerry Jones and laughing all the way to the bank, as they will not win a championship or even make an NFC championship game. But everybody gets paid. They love Dallas, no question.
So this move, actually one of the better the Dallas Cowboys could make. We'll talk about it in a little bit. NFL news up next.
Loser is such a mean word. Just say non-SportsGrid listener.
It's nicer.
We're your source for the winning edge.
Invaluable social etiquette.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With the SportsGrid News Flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. Police and a middle school in suburban New York are looking into how a student got a hold of marijuana gummies and gave them to about a dozen schoolmates, sending 11 of them to the hospital. The episode happened Monday at William Floyd Middle School on Long Island. The sickened students were 13 and 14 years old, according to Suffolk County Police. No criminal charges had been filed as of Tuesday. It wasn't immediately clear whether any students will face discipline. Kroger announced on Monday that CEO Rodney McMullen has resigned after a board of investigation of his personal conduct. Lead director Ronald Sargent Sargent has been appointed interim CEO effective immediately. Kroger said McMullen's conduct was, quote, unrelated to the business, but was inconsistent with Kroger's policy on business ethics. Kroger said that last month the board was made aware of certain personal conduct by McMullen and immediately hired an outside attorney to conduct an investigation. I'm Trey Westerberg with the SportsGrid News Flash.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play, but it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations, covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Winning is no accident.
You gotta be smart about it.
It takes a plan. All centered around expert analysis and trusted information.
That's what you get
right here. The Winning Edge. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Tag deadline day around the National Football League on a Tuesday afternoon, now officially 1 week away from the start of a new league year in the NFL. That is 1 week from today, next Wednesday, March 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern. So DRS, as we get some news over the next week, everything becomes official exactly a week from today. At any time there is a deadline around the NFL, not only will it focus on that specific thing, like franchise or transition tags, but of course we'll get some big news around the NFL, including an early contract extension for the record-setting running back in Philadelphia after his first year in the city of brotherly love. That being Saquon Barkley, just 1 year into his 3-year, $38 million deal that, of course, Barkley signed with the Eagles last offseason, a new record-setting extension. 2-year deal, $41.2 million extension. The highest paid running back now ever in the National Football League. The only ever running back, DRS, to make $20 million or more in annual average value.
Yeah, and we talk about it. Look, the salary cap's going up. The good players are going to get rewarded, and also a forward-thinking organization by saying we probably have Saquon Barkley for at least 2 to 3 more years in his full prime, barring a disastrous injury. Why don't we get him a little bit more money up front? We'll appreciate that as a franchise. You have also all of that money saved away, as we talk about, and we will continue to talk about how much money you can get on the average bonus, which means guaranteed money in your back pocket. So I think everybody in the organization was happy, and is anybody going to fault it? He just came off the single best season in the history of football from the running back position. You pushed a little bit more money his way. Everybody wins here. Organizations should look at the Philadelphia Eagles and say, yes, that's the gold standard. Imagine a person who signs a deal, and a very good deal, plays more and better than what everybody thought he was going to do, and has a sensational season. They gave him more money. Free agents will see that. You know what else free agents see? The way players get treated in Cincinnati goes a long way.
And you could make an argument that Saquon Barkley is getting a big thank you from every single running back around the NFL, reinvigorating the position as he did with a big deal last offseason, and his performance proving that if you have a record-setting running back on pace for it, you can make some headway in the National Football